Captain's Log, Subdate 200729.3. I've run out of Canal, I've run out of synthol, and worst of all, I have run out of rum. If the coronavirus doesn't kill you all, I will, solely to get more rum. Welcome everyone to the halls of brackets in close brackets justice. Today we have a subject concerning a pair of brothers. Before we start, I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight. If you're at all interested in watching me casually drive, air quotes around that, around America. Link to my Twitch in the description down below. So today I would like to talk about the Dumitri brothers. I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names, as it's I-O-A-N and I-I-C-I-C, or I-L-C-I-C-I. As they are both convicted, I don't particularly care how to pronounce their names, so I'm just going to refer to them as the Dumitri brothers. For the story I'm going to tell, we're going to go back in time to April of 2019, where a victim, a female from Romania, was promised that she'd be working in a factory on her arrival in the UK. She was led to believe that she'd be able to live the dream free, which is something I can understand. We have a very proud history of welcoming Romanians into the United Kingdom, many of whom worked. An equal number of many also then just claimed benefits and sent the money home to build mansions back home. Very clever. Gotta give them that. This lady had a ticket bought for her by the Dumitri brothers, and in April 2019 when she arrived with the brothers, they took her to a house in Plumstead, where two other Romanian women were already living. Her travel documentation, including her passport, were then taken. Rather than be given a chance to settle in before starting her new job, the brothers told her to dress in sexy clothing, and they then drove her to North London, where she was told she would be working on the streets, which is a fundamentally different type of factory, and I doubt it was the one she was prepared for. She had told the brothers that she had never done this type of work before, but under threat of violence, she was forced to find customers if she failed to make money for them. Not long after, though, she became pregnant when a client, under the circumstances I'm not overly fond of that word being used there, but we're going to use it for now. A client's condom split, and she became pregnant, but forced to continue again under threat of violence by the Dumitri brothers. On any typical day, she would sleep with up to 10 to 15 men, making £1,000, all of which went to the Dumitri brothers. The Dumitri brothers, to keep her in line, regularly beat her. She was also banned from leaving the house in Plumstead that she stayed at. 7 months into that pregnancy, though, the brothers decided to try and force an abortion. I'm not going to go into details on that. This video is already demonetized. No. Around the same time of the forced abortion attempt, a client had asked her if she had been in touch with her family back home in Romania. This victim took the opportunity, once realizing that she could freely converse, to tell him about some of the abuse that she had suffered at the hands of the Dumitri brothers. A week later, that same client came back to see her again, and in doing so gave her a small mobile phone, which set in motion a series of events that led to the arrest of the Dumitri brothers. What started this was when two Romanian officers, seconded to the UK to help with international affairs with Romania, worked alongside detectives and the Metropolitan Police and a team of officers to start investigating this particular case, which led to the arrest of the brothers. On the 18th of December 2019, Romanian authorities contacted the Metropolitan Police from the Modern Slavery and Child Sexual Exploitation Unit, the MSCE. Those two brothers were arrested for offences under Section 2 of the Modern Slavery Act, controlling prostitution and actual bodily harm. The younger brother was additionally arrested for being concerned in the supply of drugs after evidence was discovered on his phone at the time of his arrest. Upon the arrest of the Dumitri brothers, the victim was taken back home to Romania, where 2 months later she went on to give birth to a baby boy. In a victim impact statement, she said, "I close my eyes and I can still see what I went through. It's a miracle my child has survived." Which it is, and I hope you, the victim, go on to live a much better life than the one you were promised in the United Kingdom, or what you experienced while in the United Kingdom. So I guess we should probably get on to the sentence, as this is quite important. I know it's a lot quicker than most videos, but I don't want to dawdle too much. The younger brother was sentenced to 15 years and 3 months imprisonment for conspiracy to arrange or facilitate the trafficking into the United Kingdom, a person for sexual exploitation, conspiracy to hold a person in servitude, and being concerned in the supply of Class A drugs, in this case, cocaine. The older brother was sentenced to 16 years imprisonment for conspiracy to arrange or facilitate the trafficking into the UK, a person for sexual exploitation, and conspiracy to hold a person in servitude. Detective Inspector Grant Anderson from the MSCE unit said after the brothers were sentenced, "This is an awful crime which subjected a vulnerable young woman to a hideous way of life. We know she will never forget her time in captivity, but I can report she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. I hope she now has some closure after knowing these men will be behind bars for a long time, 7.5 years and 8 years, before they're released based on current UK law. We are committed to bringing these offenders to justice and will continue to work with local and overseas partners to do this." Something interesting I noticed, by the way, with this whole article. There are several articles, but they all say exactly the same thing. Not one of them says anything different. And that's not a joke. I have several articles and they are all copy-pasted from the Metropolitan Police's website, which is a rather interesting state of affairs when it comes to reporting on this case, because there's no mention of a judge statement anywhere. Ordinarily with these videos I would read to you what their defense would say, what the prosecution would say, and what the judge has said. But for some peculiar reason, even though we've covered similar topics before and we've gotten all the information, there is a massive lacking when it comes to this, which really does get my noggin jogging. For now, I guess we should just ignore the fact that everyone has copy-pasted this and look at some of the advice that they have given the Metropolitan Police, that is. Because there is a very small discussion happening when it comes to modern slavery, and there are signs to look out for. Unkempt, malnourished, injured, appearing afraid, refusing to make eye contact, doing long hours, wearing unsuitable clothing, or having the wrong equipment for a job. There are signs regardless. And if you are at all suspicious, in the United Kingdom, there is a modern slave helpline confidentially, and it's open 24 hours a day. As far as I'm concerned with the Dumitri brothers, let's call them 1 and 2. The punishment is simple. Add a 0 to both your sentences. You exploited humanity for your own financial gain, and when you didn't get what you wanted, you caused harm, and you sought to end a life. And before some pedantic git says it, this does not make me pro-life. In the context of what they were trying to achieve, I'm just against suffering. Not only did you take advantage and beat, but you manipulated and you used drugs. It is alleged that some of those drugs were used to keep those girls in line, which isn't totally uncommon when it comes to this kind of behaviour. That is also unacceptable. Therefore, the sentence should have a 0 applied to it. However, because I'm a dick, we're going to keep you alive for the entire sentence and then remove the technology used to keep you alive for that long. Good luck. As with everything we cover on this series, I would love to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments down below. Tomorrow is an exhibition of stupid people video and I've actually done the bloody research. Yay. If I don't see you over on Twitch tonight, have a cracking Wednesday and thank you all for listening.